Hello, everyone. Welcome to another night at the Fireside Tales. Tonight I will be telling you a story by Jack London. And although a lot of people don't realize this, it is actually a very true and honest story. The story begins in Alaska. The Walton family loved their dog, Jasper. Mr. and Mrs. Walton would often take him on walks down through the woods, and they always fed him well, and they loved the dog as if he was a member of their own family. And they'd have him for about 3 years, and one day they were going down the trail when they came across a man. And the man was walking forward, and he said in a gruff voice, "Are you Mr. and Mrs. Walton?" And they said, Yes, we are." And the man said, "My name is Lawrence, and the truth of the matter, and I'll come right down to it, is that's my dog that you have, and I'd appreciate it if you'd give him back." Well, they both looked at each other, and Mr. Walton said, "Well, that's impossible. Jasper's our dog." And the man, Lawrence, said, No, he's not. He's my dog, and his name is Wayne, for that matter. I suppose I should tell you the story. You see, originally, me and Wayne here, or Jasper, if you'd like to call him that, were partners. He was my sled dog, and he was one of the finest sled dogs in the world. Oh, we went everywhere together, all across Alaska. It was a hard life, a cold life, but we kept each other warm by our own company. But, of course, times got hard. And, Jasper, he had to be sold. I hated to do it. Hated it very much. The dog had much saved my life when I fell down into the water and he came out and grabbed me. I don't know if I would have survived if it hadn't been for him. And I just must have that dog back. After I sold him, I regretted it, and I searched the whole land looking for him. And now I finally found him, and I'd do anything to get him back. I'll pay any price." Well, Mr. and Mrs. Walton said, "But he's our dog," they said. "Well, you can't take him." "But please," he said, "whatever price you wish." Well, Mr. Walton, he said, "Well, he's an old dog, to be sure, and I think you're being a little bit, selfish." What do you mean?" "Well, I just mean that maybe you're thinking only about yourself. Think about what Jasper wants. He's getting to be an old dog. Does he really deserve to be riding his sled all across Alaska and fighting grizzly bears and wolves?" And, the man said, "Well, no, I suppose you got a point there." Well, Mr. Walton, he said, "Well, I think the matter is simple. We must let Jasper decide. We will go one way, and you will go the other. And most of us must promise to not turn back. And whoever Jasper chooses will be his permanent master. Is that agreed?" And, the old man said, "Agreed. Whoever he comes to is his." So that's what they did. They turned around and they both started walking. Now, Miss Walton wanted to turn around very much, especially as the dog, Jasper, was whining and looking at both of his masters and running back and forth between them. But Mr. Walton said, "Don't look. Let him make his own decision." So they walked for a little time, and the dog was just going crazy. He didn't know who to choose, because he loved both of them, all three of them. And he ran back and he ran forth, trying to decide, and finally, he went up to the old man, and he started walking along beside him, casting a final look back at the Waltons. And so, Jasper, in the end, chose a hard life, one with struggle and turmoil, over a life of ease. And that is all. As always, sweet dreams, and good night.